Hello there. So if you've got a situation like this where the interior fan on a 9804 Focus and many other cars will work on some speeds but then not work at all on others, it's most likely to be the heater resistor. So on this particular model, the heater resistor actually lives behind the glove box, just to the right of the fan motor. It's actually that blue unit just there. Please note that they're not always blue, sometimes they're black, but it basically looks like that. So to get to it, to get best access, first you need to remove the glove box. And you remove the glove box by removing these 3 screws at the bottom, and then once you've done that, it will be kind of like left hanging there on these rubber grommets. So you just kind of sort of squeeze the sides in a little bit, and then it will just drop out quite easily. And again, to get best access, you also need to remove this piece of trim panel from behind where the glove box was. It kind of like goes above where the passenger's feet would be, and you do that by removing these 3 plastic screws. And then after you actually remove the screws, you actually need to remove the plastic bits as well for the bit to come off. So once you've done that, you need to pull the connector off. So you do that by just can't get to it. I think I'm gonna stop and you just pull the connector off. I can't actually film it. And okay, so as you saw, that the access was a bit too difficult to film it and get it off at the same time. So, but it's without the camera, it's reasonably easy. So there's a little lug on the side of the on the left of the connector there. You just sort of push that in, and then the connector pulls out reasonably easily. And then it's just 1 screw that holds it in. And you need a sort of like a shortish Phillips screwdriver about this kind of size, again for access reasons. If you try to use a longer one, you will struggle a bit. And that's it. Then it just comes out like that, and then it's simply a matter of putting the new one in. And as I mentioned earlier, they're not always blue. The replacement, for example, on this car happens to be black. And then you just put the trim and the glove box on in reverse order, and that's it. It should be working fine. Right, okay, so we've got the new replacement back in. It's black, this one, as we showed you earlier, so it's a bit more difficult to see, but you can just about make out the wires going into it, probably, I imagine. And as you can see, as you'll be able to hear, hopefully. Fan now works on all speeds. So just as a final note, when you're putting the glove box back on, it's easier if you first hang it up there on the rubber lugs and then put the screws back in afterwards. So that's all. Hope that video was helpful to you. Cheers.